great Hercules, son of Jupiter by a mortal woman, has been invited to the court of the king of Jolko. On his way to Jolko and knee-deep in the meadow grass, Hercules watches the antics of several lambs playing. All of a sudden, he hears cries for help and the crashing of chariot wheels.
And I thank the gods for having brought you here today and for saving me.
I must admit I was frightened for you, watching those runaway horses. How do you feel?
Better. Oh, I'm still trembling, I guess. What's the matter? Why do you sit and stare at me like that?
I don't know. So few women come this way.
And so?
As long as you're here, I might as well. I never saw a girl more beautiful.
Oh.
I've come a long way. Seeing you is worth it.
How simple men are. As though I were a plant or an animal. Still, I thank you, you know.
I'm telling the truth. Don't thank me for it.
You couldn't be anyone but Hercules the Theban. I know you're expected.
Your father knows about it.
He didn't ask you. It was a question of teaching the art of war to a fetus, my brother, and you offered to.
Isn't that the same thing?
No. You know the story of my family. Somebody spoke to you about us.
You remember it well, then? Was it really so bad?
I remember it now.
Princess Iole, daughter of Peleus, king of Jolko, tells Hercules about awakening one night in the palace. It was during a nightmare, and she heard screams in addition to her own.
But with my scream, I heard other screams echoing from the farthest end of the palace. My terror was even greater when I noticed that my nurse's bed was empty. Out of my mind with fear, I ran to the throne room. I could scarcely see the body of the king as they carried him out amidst the clamor and confusion. My father stood there petrified, staring at his brother's blood. Then he turned, and a look of fear crossed his face, for the stand behind the throne was empty. The golden fleece was gone, but his suffering could do nothing. Jason escaped with the golden fleece, and Chiron too, but you know the rest.
So that's why Chiron was accused of killing the king, kidnapping Jason, and stealing the golden fleece.
Yes.
And for what reason?
For revenge.
And do you believe that?
It's important. Do you think that people lie?
But I've heard it wasn't Chiron who killed the king. It was the king's brother who murdered him.
That's not true!
Hercules and Iole make their way back to Jolko. They eye each other, and there is a gentle feeling between them. King Peleus sees them approach and calls out,
"You! Who is that?" "Hercules, the master of arms that you sent for." "Hercules the Theban. Come forward." "Welcome to Jolko."
They say you're almost a god. Well then, why aren't you invisible?
Stop it, Ephetus. This man saved my life today.
Marvelous. That's the way to make a fine impression.
You'd better listen to what I have to say to Hercules, because it concerns you too. You're here to reinforce Jolko. Hercules will guide you until you're able to reign. But he must show you. Because I want to give the throne up.
Father?
Because each year I grow more anxious. I can't go on being king forever. I can't go on. Useless.
Father, you've been drinking too much tonight.
I guess you're right, but it won't stop it, can't you see? Hercules, I must beg you to help us at Jolko. You must help to keep the throne for my boy here. If I find that you are loyal, I will grant you anything you want out of Jolko. I hope you sleep well. Good night. One moment. He may be an imposter. How do I know?
But I saw him. My horses, they were running away. He stopped my horses. I knew who he was.
Certainly. You're right to feel grateful. But I can't depend on the eyes of a girl.
What are you trying to say?
Don't be upset about it, Iole.
Well then, let me do it, Father. All right then, prove you're so fearless. Come on.
Iphitus throws a heavy metal war spear toward Hercules, and Hercules snaps it into many pieces.
Good, Hercules. Enough now. Iole may show you to your quarters.
Until tomorrow, Peleus.
They've all become fanatics since Hercules arrived. They seem to worship nothing but strength.
Their studies are neglected for the glory of the arena. Isn't that so, Orpheus?
Yes, Laertes, for the moment poetry languishes. And my lyre will soon sing songs of nothing but heroes and battles. Why, look, Tifi, here's Argo.
He seems to be furious. All of you here in the arena, and have you all changed to his ways? Talk to the men, they speak only of Hercules.
He's won their hearts. They won't listen to me. To my way of thinking, he could start them battling against their elders.
No, Laertes. Just watch Hercules, a born master of these things. If he'll fight here, he can bring defeat to our enemies. Look at him, standing with Castor and Pollux. Deceit does not go with a man of such qualities.
Look, that's very good. A fine jump. But next time, try to end up on your feet. If you want to become champion, you must work.
I wanted you to notice me. I want to be like you, Hercules.
And you will be, my boy, because you have a strong will.
My father said you put strength ahead of everything, but I know you want us to use our forces only to serve our intelligence.
And you are right. All right, now you will stay by my side and I'll teach you to fight. But not only with your hands. And someday, your friends and enemies will honor you and name you the wise.
I might have known who it was.
Iphitus.
Iphitus picks a quarrel with Hercules and challenges him to show how good a teacher he really is. So Hercules takes the young Ulysses and shows him how to make an arrow fly to a mark a tremendous distance away.
Now concentrate and listen to me. Aim before you wind up. And just watch the direction and intensity of the wind. Watch the tops of those trees. That will guide you to incline your bow at the proper angle. Once you've determined that, let go the arrow. It will have to go straight out. Here's your bow. Now watch. Here. That's it. Just one more inch now.
I can't do it.
You must do it. Steady now. One more foot. Shoot!
A perfect shot.
Look at that.
Well done, my boy. What's your name?
Ulysses, son of Laertes.
Remember what I'm going to say. Perhaps someday, a bow may decide your fate.
Iphitus once again challenges Hercules. This time, it's a personal combat.
Listen, no one in all of this country has ever beaten me at discus throwing. All right, are you ready?
I accept.
Iphitus may win the discus throw. His body is built lighter than Hercules. That can work as an advantage sometime.
We must wait and
we'll
see.
Still know.
137 3/4.
I must say it's extraordinary.
It will take some doing for Hercules if he ever wants to beat that record.
Now, just wait a minute.
Come, Hercules, we'd like to see your style. How do you throw the discus at Thebes? With both hands?
They're truly the hands of a god.
My chariot! My chariot! I want my chariot!
He can beat anybody.
After beating Iphitus at throwing the discus and watching him madly dash away, Hercules thought Iphitus might mend his ways. The next day, Hercules, out driving in his chariot, hears the wail of an old man crying out against a man-eating lion.
He's returned, dependable as summer, cruel as hailstones on the young wheat. See how the lion prefers the young people, the children and women. Whoa, whoa.
What has happened?
The lion has returned.
Where were they found?
In the valley, the lion got them there.
Don't go, Hercules.
Hercules! No! Stop! No, please!
Hercules slammed down the reins on the backs of his horses, and the chariot thundered down the valley in search of the lion. However, troublesome Iphitus follows, and while he's talking to Hercules, the lion jumps from his hiding place and kills Iphitus.
Better get back to Jolko. No, I want to enjoy the spectacle. Go away. I want to see you battling a lion, not throwing a discus around. Your tongue is faster than your sword. You take your orders from me. Go back. I'm responsible for your life. You're responsible for my prestige in front of the people, too. By the gods, I swear if you escape the lion, you won't escape this.
Now a great battle takes place. The lion, having killed poor Iphitus, turns his attention toward Hercules. Hercules jumped off his horse, gave it a slap on the rump to keep it away from danger, and then leaped toward the lion. They met in midair and fell to the ground amid loud roaring and gnashing of teeth. Soon Hercules grabbed the lion at the back of the head, exerted all his strength, and the lion's neck snapped. King Peleus, enraged at the death of his son Iphitus, forces Hercules to accept the doing of many superhuman feats, even though he may perish doing them. The first is to kill the Cretan bull. Hercules cries out to the gods, and they answer.
Is this your design, O gods? Is this why I've come to Jolko?
Follow your destiny, then, wherever you like. Hercules is a man now, and the gods will punish you for your stubbornness.
Thank you, Jupiter, for answering my prayer. Now there's a woman to conquer, and battles to win. And the Cretan bull awaits!
The Cretan bull awaits! The Cretan bull awaits!
Hercules catches up with the Cretan bull just as he sees the bull attack somebody. He attracts the bull's attention, and it thunders down towards him. Its eyes blood red, and the great horns shining whitely in the sunlight. Hercules sidesteps, and as the bull is about to pass, he whips his arms around its neck, grabs the great horns, and twists. They stand there, two towers of strength, straining and straining. Hercules has killed the great Cretan bull. He goes over to the bull's last victim, now being helped by someone, and cries out.
Kirin! What is it? Let him alone.
Hercules, it's the Cretan bull's work. I'm finished, I'm afraid. But still, the gods are sometimes generous, for you've come here.
You recognize me. You mustn't speak.
No, I have to. It's because I'm sure death is coming soon. I want you to listen, Jason. You know who this is, the son of King Aeson.
Kirin saved me when they tried to murder me. He brought me here when I was a child. He has taken care of my education as a king and a warrior.
He must recapture what is rightfully his. He must sit in glory on the throne that stands at Jolko. The time's perfect. And now it's you who will see that he gets there instead of me. Instruct him in the ways of justice.
You'll return to Jolko with Jason and the Golden Fleece.
Hercules, my own beloved pupil. The Golden Fleece is not here, never has been. There was a terrible storm at sea.
Where is it, then?
I don't know exactly. The ship I hired to take us aboard when we fled Jolko waited in port for the storm to pass us by, and later was forced into the Kolkades.
When the inhabitants tried to kill us both, me and Kieran, Kieran knew he had to keep the Golden Fleece from falling into their hands. Finally, he hid it in an immense oak tree. But he took care of me. We escaped then and continued our voyage.
You know who the killer was? Tell me his name.
Jason has to take over his throne without violence. It's what the gods want. It's what I promised.
Who killed King Aeson? Tell me.
I can't tell you. The Golden Fleece knows.
After Chiron died, Hercules and Jason journeyed to Jolko, where they are received by King Peleus. Here Jason tells his story.
So you see, I was saved by Kieran and hidden in a grotto. Waiting for this day by the gods. Waiting to return to my country. The time arrived. Those who killed my father I do not fear.
This is most unusual. But hold, you speak with the king of Jolko. You must certainly prove your story. You may be telling the truth, but I cannot be expected to hand over my throne, the governing of the state, only because someone claims that he's my nephew. Now you say that Chiron is dead, and that the Golden Fleece is actually in the Kolkades, a land that's very far away, a long, well-nigh impossible journey. Therefore, you may have come here only to defraud me.
I myself heard Chiron talk about the fleece.
Your words can't influence me in what I must do. You brought enough unhappiness to my house. Do you want to take my throne now?
If I may speak, I think this discussion is a waste of time. If this is Jason and he tells the truth, then we must ask the gods to prove it. The Kolkades is a long journey. But if we persist and take this voyage, as I suggest, we might find the truth about King Aeson's death.
Do as you must. The gods have willed you to decide this. But don't expect me to wait here, tortured by doubt for the little time that I have. You have 3 months to come back.
Not one day more.
That's all.
So Hercules and many of the heroes and heroes-to-be set sail to the Kolkades to win back the Golden Fleece. Orpheus starts to sing, and the men join in making a rhythm to time their stroke with the oars.
Here comes the wind. Get to the sails.
No sooner had the sails been set when a tremendous storm arose and tossed the good ship Argo like a chip of wood. Gale-like winds arose, and the ship sped on through the high-tossed seas as though it were on wings. Hercules, Jason, Ulysses, and the rest of the heroes won through the storm, with the Argo battered, but in watertight condition. The storm subsided almost as fast as it had come up. Soon the Argo glided into the lagoon of an unknown island. They dispatched a landing party to secure water and provisions. Little did they know that this was the island of the dread women warriors, the Amazons.
Let's keep together. Better take this path.
Hey there. What do you want on this island?
We presume the island was deserted. Some of us landed to find water and stock our provisions. Be assured our intentions are peaceful.
Throw down your arms and follow us. Queen Antea shall decide.
Jason and the rest of the landing party laughed and waved their spears at the women warriors. They changed their tune when the Amazons shot arrows neatly into the shafts of their spears. Looking around them at the hundreds of armed Amazons, Jason signaled the men to put down their weapons and follow the women through the forest. Arriving there, Jason addresses Queen Antea.
Hail to you, milady. Be assured that these men and I from another land come in peace to your island. Our aim is simple. All we want are supplies and provisions without disturbing you in your solitude.
I feel you may be ironic. You see, the Amazon people are dying out. As you know, we are all women. We have lost our men. They were all killed years ago when they went up the mountainside. An earthquake took them. Now we remain alone here. Pity us for the way we are now. You'll find we are valuable allies.
Excuse my indiscretion. I am called Jason. We are from Jalco. This is Argo, Pollux, Laertes, Castor, and Aesculapius. We were sailing to the Chalcidies, but a storm forced us to throw our provisions overboard, and you see, we never tried.
You shall stay till tomorrow, and then go. Now you listen to what I tell you. Put at the stranger's disposition all our wine and all our food.
You see? Things are looking up. What did I tell you?
A week passes by. The heroes rest, eat, and drink wine amid the lush paradise of the island's surroundings. Many of them are becoming attached romantically to the women warriors. This is returned, as the women have never seen such great men before, only the ordinary seamen who were washed ashore during shipwrecks. Jason, who has fallen in love with Queen Antea, asks what has happened to these men, and the queen answers that they were killed. The Amazons let no man live who dares come to the island. Jason asks what is to happen to him and his friends. The queen kisses him and brushes all suspicions aside. Later, the queen visits the high priestess to plead for the lives of Jason and his men.
But you must know that I love you.
Your feelings are no concern of ours. The term has expired many days ago. The law is the law, and it must be obeyed by all of us. You know that the law applies to you as well. More to you, Antea. Those men shall all be put to death. And do it by tomorrow morning. Jason will be the first. He must not live to see the sunrise. You must act quickly, before the dawn.
I shall do as the gods command.
Unknown to Queen Antea and the high priestess, Ulysses, hiding behind a statue in the temple, overheard the conversation. Fearing for the lives of his friends, Ulysses has an idea. Running to where Aesculapius, the physician, is sleeping, Ulysses awakens him.
Aesculapius, listen.
What's that?
If you wanted someone to sleep, is there a drug?
But why bother him, man? You see, he's already sleeping.
Will you wake up, please? It's important.
What's more important than sleeping?
I must know what medicine I can use.
Crushed seeds of poppies is what I recommend. The poppy seeds in wine is the most effective thing I know.
Poppies, like this one?
Yes.
Thank you.
Ulysses runs back to the ship where Hercules and some of the crew are making Argo ready for the journey to the Chalcidies. Ulysses tells what he overheard and how he plans to drug the wine that night. Hercules agrees to the plan and tells Ulysses that he and the crew will carry the men back to the ship as soon as the men and women warriors are put to sleep by the poppies. The plan succeeds, and the drugged men awaken to find themselves on the Argo and out to sea.
Let's go.
This is a place we are being taken away from the island.
You're quite right.
Come on. I'm not going.
Yes.
Hercules, turn the boat around.
We want to go back to the island.
Orpheus, Ulysses, take the tiller. I've decided to go ahead.
And with these very words of Hercules, Argo passes a small island with a sharp rock ledge jutting out to sea. On this island are the notorious sirens calling out to the men to bring their ship onto the ledge, where it will be wrecked. Hercules orders the men to drown out the voices by singing. The men sing, and Jason beats out a rowing rhythm to set the pace.
Orpheus, let's have a song. All of you, sing along with us. I need wind in the sail.
Away from the sirens, many sailing days pass, and the navigator points the Argo towards land. He thinks this is the Colchides.
This be the Colchides. The fleece is near us.
Why do they go ashore so early? Couldn't they wait for daylight?
They could not keep Jason from going. The others follow.
The men, believing the end of their long journey is near, are in high spirits. They refuse to wait till dawn to land, and they embark a landing party. Little did they know that the night would be a nightmare, a horror of horrors, for the creatures of the night were abroad in force. Soon the creatures attack, and the heroes draw swords and fight for their very lives.
Is something out of a bad dream?
Fighting off the creatures of the night, Hercules and the men rest a moment to draw a few breaths. Hercules notices that Jason is missing. Jason had gone on ahead to get the golden fleece, but it was guarded by a huge dinosaur-like monster. It is now attacking Jason, who is only armed with a spear.
Jason! Where is Jason? Jason!
Jason's one chance to kill the monster is to avoid it until he has an opening to make a perfect spear cast right through the eye of the beast. This he was able to do. Then he reached up for the golden fleece to read what was written in blood on the back. Hercules comes running up.
What is written on the back of the golden fleece? On whom will our vengeance fall?
On no one. It was the last request of the king. It is his will. He pities those who take revenge. You'll return this to Jalco, where you'll place the golden fleece behind the throne.
O king, it's wise to forgive, but you'd be wiser to look deep into the eyes of the man you've forgiven.
I follow only what my father commands and my conscience dictates. I must do it. I'll take the responsibility.
With the golden fleece on board, the heroes sail Argo back to Jalco. Here they expect to show everyone the golden fleece and establish Jason as king of Jalco. They do not know, however, that Eurystheus is on board only to steal the golden fleece and bring it to the false King Peleus. The king plans to hide the fleece and not renounce his throne in favor of Jason. The Argo sails into the Jalco harbor amid the shouts of the populace, who are welcoming home the heroes.
We may made it in 3 months. Where's Hercules, do you know?
Come down and see. There he is.
Look, Ulysses.
Get back to your places.
Where is the Golden Fleece?
Stolen from under our noses. We allowed ourselves to be tricked like children.
But no one went ashore.
Just a moment. Where is he? Where's Eurystheus?
He's missing. It must be he. Now the people of Jolko will believe we are lying. It's the end of us.
No, not yet. I shall go ashore. I shall find the fleece. The people of Jolko will have their rights. I swear by the gods. And you wait for my signal. I'll wave a torch.
Hercules in the palace confronts Eurystheus and King Peleus with the theft of the fleece. He also signals the men on shipboard from the palace window.
So you've stolen the fleece, Eurystheus. I wouldn't soil my hands with your foul blood. As for you, you're an old man who inspires only pity and disgust.
Look there, the signal!
Let us go to the palace.
Hurry!
Argo's men storm up to the palace just in time to hear Hercules address King Peleus.
Listen, now beware of Jason. Jason is king. Jason will judge you. Don't forget that we'll fight. You will never beat Jason. Everybody will know you're thieves.
You report that your journey has been successful, that you found the Colchides, and in the Colchides you found the Golden Fleece. May I look at it? Bring to me the fleece, and I will give you the throne. But I promise that if I find you have lied to me, you will be condemned and put to death, all of you.
I told you the fleece has been stolen. You can ask your own men here.
They're your partners if it comes to that. I want the fleece now. If the fleece is yours, show it to me. But I know you can't. Because you're an imposter and your men are traitors. Arrest them all.
Prisoners, never perish.
Hercules, Jason, and the heroes draw their swords, and King Peleus calls the palace guards to join the fight. Although battling against terrific odds, the heroes are winning the uneven struggle when King Peleus summons the crack palace cavalry. Jason calls on Hercules for help, and Hercules takes 2 chains from the wall and wraps them around his wrists. He goes out to the palace entrance and secures the chains to the marble columns that hold up the palace front. There he waits for the cavalry to come through the entranceway. In a little room in back of the throne, Iole talks to King Peleus.
Father?
Iole, pardon me, and sometimes make mistakes, and now mine have caught up with me. I've done so badly. Jason should reign in Jolko. He may have mercy on my memory.
Tell me about everything now. You mustn't lie any longer.
My dear, it's useless. The poison's working well.
Poison! Father!
You mustn't regret anything, daughter. Go away with Hercules. He's a good man. I must join her fetus. Now, gods take me to the land of shadows. May I be forgiven.
Hercules, his chains wrapped around the marble columns, hears the cavalry thundering up from the road. He waits until they enter the palace arches, and then pulls down the entire palace front, killing and trapping the cavalry and putting an end to the fight. Jason is king.
there is justice, and the clouds over Jolko pass away. Out of great sorrow and spilled blood, forces of good are sometimes born. Hercules and Iole are leaving now to find a new happiness. They will seek amongst the race of men, where justice and peace will be with them again. Farewell, Hercules. Farewell, Iole. Life awaits you, with all its glory and all its shadows. But even through the most difficult tasks the gods may prepare for you, you'll have each other to the end of